All right, guys, welcome. Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year's wherever you guys are. For some of you guys that are watching this video have already celebrated your New Year's, and congratulations to you. 2025 is in the books. Guys, what a year. Like, I mean, what a year for combat sports, right? I mean, one of the great things today is we're going to talk about some of my top fights that I'm ranking, boxing fights of the year. So I'm going to try to rank them to the best of my ability. I'll do my best, guys. You may or may not like my picks. First of all, I've got to put it out there for the record. I don't like to rank. I hate ranking fights. It's not my style. I actually cringe when it comes to those kind of things. I let the sanctioning bodies and the professionals do all the rankings. That's not me. But there was a lot of fights that did happen, and I do want to share my opinions on that. And I want to talk about fighter of the year. So not only fight of the year, but fighter of the year. All right. So look, it's hard to just say if you had to pick one fight that defined boxing in 2025, what would you do? Could you do it? Could you even pick it? I mean, for me, honestly, super, super tough. We had so many wars, so many battles, so many unbelievable combatants taking on one another, the controversy, the drama, the masterclass, the boxing clinics that we've seen. It was absolutely next level, but more importantly, a lot of those fights made history. And they've created storylines that are taking us now into 2026. So by the end of this video, I'm hoping that I would like to know if boxing did it right or did they miss the mark. Now, I would love to do another video for UFC, MMA, combat sports, other like genres in combat sports like PFL, Misfits perhaps, so many different so many different organizations, so many different mixed martial arts and genres of combat sports that are out there. I just really wish I could cover it all. Unfortunately, I don't have 2.5 hours to spend with you. Perhaps maybe we'll do that next year on a live stream and we can talk about it together. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and comments on that. So I want to get into this, guys, and welcome back, guys. I'm your host. I'm Shiraz. This is Duality 7X. Here we try to cover all the latest trending stories when it comes to the world of MMA, UFC, WWE, and boxing. No fluffs, no fillers, real fight talk, unfiltered, raw, unedited, guys, just right to the point. I mean, here we try to cover everything that we can, but we also leave a little bit open for you guys to be able to shed your comments. So let's get right into it, guys. What exactly does fight of the year actually really mean? See, here's the deal. A little full disclosure here, but before I get into my picks, my opinions are going to be different than everyone on this channel, everyone watching this video, because I've got certain kinds of check boxes that I'm checking off. Some of you might be have your check boxes, and we may not necessarily always align in terms of what we're looking for or what constitutes a fight of the year, right? I mean, when it comes to that, it's so vague, it's so gray. Everyone's got their opinions on how they and what they feel would justify what a fight of the year would look like, right? We could talk about pure skill versus skill, perhaps, right? Or just two guys going to war. Does it have to include knockdowns? Like, does a fight of the year make it a fight of the year if there's a knockdown or no knockdowns? Does that really matter? Is it masterclass like boxing clinics that you're looking for? Fighters with real good boxing IQ, perhaps? Drama, controversy, rivalry, something that might be very cinematic, like almost like straight out of a movie. I mean, guys, like I don't know what your check boxes are, but I kind of put some of that together. And there's a shock factor as well too, because 2025 gave us everything that I just mentioned and more, right? And sometimes all in the same fight. So let's break down the fights that kind of mattered for me. And so I'm going to start. For me, gosh, this is so it's difficult. Honestly, it's really, really difficult, guys, because when I think, I'm just gonna go like top five. Okay, let's say top five, but And then I'm going to give another fight. I'm going to say top 5, but there's 2 that really stuck out for me that made number 1. Okay. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay. Like we got Naoya, the monster Inoue. He took on Roman Cardenas. Now that I'll start with number 5, right? That's number 5, right? That happened back in May 4th of this year. That fight was in Las Vegas. I talked about I want to see Naoya fight a little bit more here in the U.S. because I feel that sometimes he doesn't get enough credit, especially here in North America. And not just because he's just a Japanese fighter, but he fights a lot. Like, I mean, yeah, he does fight here as well too, but for whatever reason, I feel that a lot of these good fighters from like Asia, from the UK, from other parts of the world, they're not talked about as much here. And I get that. I mean, here we're going to obviously talk about our fighters, and from North American fighters, Canada, Mexico, the United States, but I feel like Anaya still doesn't get enough credit because he truly is a living legend, and he's a monster. So this fight that he had against Cardanos, I mean, literally happened in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. I mean, it had almost everything. I mean, you had the underdog, right? The underdog in Cardanos. He came out to fight, and he was overlooked, right? He came out. He bombed quickly. Like, I mean, when I say he bombed quickly, I mean, he really put on a fight. Okay. He came out there and he was swinging. I mean, there was things that he was doing that define an underdog for sure. But there was things that he was doing that people are like, whoa, wait a minute. That he's doing that? They didn't anticipate it. The underdog came out with a mission to win the fight, and he almost did that because he dropped Inoue. He dropped him, and then the crowd just woke up, and people are losing their minds. But here's what defines greatness. Inoue is so special. He's the kind of guy that when rattled, when he's under pressure, and when everything is like going to shit, like everything is just falling apart, this guy comes out of the woodworks and he lights it up. He latches onto that inner greatness that he has, and this is what defines his greatness. Why he should be in the conversation for greatest of all time, potentially, especially in this era, because he is such a special fighter. Not many people can do what he does. After being dropped and rattled the way he was, the way it happened against him in Cardenas, he came back with a vengeance. And I mean, honestly, in round 8, this guy came out like a killer. He did unbelievable, guys. I mean, after being dropped by like a harsh left, people thought it was done. Inoue just kind of summoned his energy, and he came out with a vengeance, and he took it. By round 8, it was done. It was done, right? And like, look, I mean, this guy almost thought, like, he almost had it. He was going after the undisputed super bantamweight titles, and he almost had it. But Inoue was just too great. And it was a firefight, guys, honestly, till the end. Inoue just broke through in the 8th round, and it was game, set, match. It forced a referee's intervention, actually, and Cardenas was trapped against the ropes, and he was just taking punishment. Right? I mean, Cardenas, you have to give it to Cardenas because Cardenas was taking risks. I mean, he did a lot of amazing things. He forced exchanges. He was testing Inoue's chin, but Inoue didn't panic. He just adjusted. He summoned his inner greatness. And that's championship composure, guys, under real fire. He did it. That's the difference between a great fighter and an all-timer, right? And I'm telling you guys, It was absolutely incredible. Um, I I love that fight, and in fact, I probably want to go watch it. It was so good. Like again, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. All right. Uh, Look, there was another really good fight. Christian Mbili took on Lester Martinez. That was back in September. There were many who felt that the super middleweight clash of, unbeatens, if you want to call it that, might actually steal the show that day in Las Vegas. And it very well might have, because the night that Terence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez, right, at the Allegiant Stadium, was something to marvel at, guys. I mean, that's probably one of the ultimate fights up there. And funny enough, I want to say that was definitely up there. Actually, I got three number ones. That's one of the number ones, guys. But I mean, look, I mean, it, you know, when I think about Christian Mbili, and I think about Lester Martinez, representing his, home country of Guatemala. He came out there. He punched with ferocity. He punched with heart. But you know what? The Canadian Frenchman, honestly, he had it. He had the upper hand, and he got the win. And now it's potentially forcing a fight between Christian Mbili and Hamza Shiraz. Yeah, Christian Mbili and Hamza Shiraz are supposed to square off, I think, for the WBC belt. But absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I thought, especially these two guys, the way they handled themselves, the way they carried themselves in the ring, they fought with a lot of heart. And I would actually like to see these guys fight again. And Martinez is the kind of guy. Both of these guys wear their hearts on their sleeves, guys. These are the guys that are not going to disappoint. If you ever want to watch really good boxing, watch either of these guys fight. They'll put a smile on your face. Okay. And then we had Bivol versus Better Beef. Now look, Archer Better Beef, he is a phenom, right? I mean, this happened back in February. It was, look. This was a revenge fight. Okay, if you're into the high boxing IQ, this was your fight. This is what you want to see. Bivol was coming off the only loss of his career. All right, I mean the stakes. Well, let me tell you about the stakes. Undisputed at 175 pounds. Excuse me, and the legacy pushing for both guys 100%. That's why this round felt like a chess match with consequences, because it very well was that. No nonsense, no gimmicks, just the two guys who are the best in their weight classes, the best light heavyweight fights on earth, doing what they do, close rounds, and guys, tiny margins. But it was a clear setup for a trilogy that we still haven't gotten. But honestly, this fight aged better than most people even think about it. So if that happens, believe me, this will be a super fight. It will be a super fight. But these two Russian fighters went at it, and there was, honestly, very little to separate these guys. By the end of 12 rounds, honestly, it was high quality, even rounds in Saudi Arabia, and it was Bivol who actually exacted his revenge and claimed the title as a top dog at 175 pounds. So I think it was 116, 112, 115, 113, and 114, 114. That's how tiny the margins were, guys. See, I wasn't lying when I said that. And honestly, there was very, very little left between these two guys of what they were able to display in the ring that night. But I really, truly feel that we're headed for a trilogy fight in this. And yeah, for me, that delivered. It was definitely up there. So I was really, really impressed with this fight, guys. And then, yeah, Kenshiro Terashi for taking on Seigo Yuri Akui. Excuse me if I butcher the names. That's not my intent. That happened back in March of this year. Akui look, there was a lot of moments between these guys where there was a lot of ups and downs, back and forth, ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call it. But the momentum definitely shifted back and forth between these guys, and it was like honestly, it was all the way. It was going all the way to the final rounds, and it was like as we actually went all the way to the final rounds, to the championship rounds, it was like literally split evenly on the cards, and then boom, we had a late stoppage, right? And look, guys, this was a masterclass fight. Okay, complete masterclass fight. You know, Taraji wasn't just defending a belt. Okay, he was defending his status as the face of the flyweight division, and Inoue wasn't supposed to really be the guy that was going to make it hard for him, difficult for him to get the job done. But apparently he did, and this is why I honestly feel this is probably one of the best fights that I've seen. Right, and I mean, between these two guys, this slugfest of boxing prowess and boxing engineers, if you want to call it, because they're so unbelievably skilled, so evenly matched going into the final rounds. I mean, it was honestly literally up for grabs. And then of course, like, yeah, I mean, it was a two-way battle, okay, between these guys, and it was so exciting that the people, just the odd makers, the fans, people who are watching this fight just didn't know. They really didn't know what was going to happen. And it was so damn dramatic. But yeah, I mean, Inoue tried his best. He pushed Taraji right to the limit. But Taraji ended up winning. He ended up overcoming that and winning that fight. So very, very good. I'd love to see that fight happen again. If it does, wow, that's going to be definitely entertaining. Now, got a three-way battle for fight of the night, fight of the year. I got Chris Eubank Jr. Versus Conor Benn. I mean, this was like, guys, this was pure cinema, pure damn cinema, man. This happened in Tottenham. It was unbelievable. It was a 2-year build-up to these young fighters fighting. There was so much bad blood between these guys, decades and decades of rivalry that started with their fathers fighting each other. It was crazy, guys. It was a rivalry that was not only in the ring but outside of the ring. And when these two young fighters finally got in the ring, right, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they didn't disappoint. Right, anyone who thought this fight was going to end early had another thing coming. I mean, it was just relentless pace, back and forth, no backing up. It was all elite level fitness. These guys' cardio was next level. Their hunger was just something else. But truly, I felt that Conor Benn had the extra edge over Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. at times felt a little flat to me. But I mean, what a battle, guys! What a battle! I mean, look, this wasn't just like all hype. Okay, this was like family rivalry. This is why this fight matters a lot, right? Because I mean, you know, Eubank versus Benn, like decades later, guys, like their fathers literally defined British. They fought and defined what British boxing is today, and they did this all back in the 90s, guys. There was failed drug tests. There was controversy outside of the ring, family issues, lawsuits. I mean, guys, there's so much tension. And not the manufactured drama that usually happens, you know, before like a fight. I mean, every round felt like it mattered. Every round felt like, you know, it was, every second counted. I mean, this is the real deal, guys. These guys, this is what they trained. This is what, you know, like Conor Benn twice had failed he tested positive for banned substances. Their first fight kind of over delivered. I mean, honestly, lived up to every ounce of the pre-fight hype and every bit as violent as promised. From the time they fought once, from the time they fought again, it was absolutely incredible. Ben won by by a wide decision, and that's why I said Eubank felt. To me, it looked like Eubank fell a little bit flat, and that's what happened. It is what it is. It was an unbelievable fight, guys. It was crazy. The other fights, of course. Now I'm not going to get into details because of time, because I still have to get into Fighter of the Year as well too. But the other one was Terence Bud Crawford taking on Canelo Alvarez. I mean, like that's a whole different animal, a whole different conversation altogether. I've covered this fight extensively throughout my channel. I have lots of videos on it. I've referenced these two unbelievable fighters. Wow, these guys are two legendary human beings and fighters. Like, this will probably go down as probably one of the greatest fights this era. There was so much at stake. All the gold, all the belts, Terence Crawford ended up beating Canelo Alvarez, becoming undisputed champion of the world. There was some drama that ensued after, with WBC and Terence Crawford, where Terence Crawford was stripped of the WBC title because, he failed to pay his mandatory fees to hold the belt. So there's a lot of drama. And then right after that, it was, the WBC had ordered Christian Mbili and Hamza Shiraz to get together to fight for that vacant belt. So there's still news to come of that. So there's a lot of news. There's a lot of drama that happened between these two guys, Canelo and Crawford. But and I mean, will we ever see another fight again? I don't know. I don't think so, because Terence Crawford has subsequently retired, and Canelo is healing from an elbow surgery recently, but it looks like he's back and he's training, and he wants to fight again real soon. So it's going to be interesting to see who Canelo fights next. That said, the other fight that really hit home for me was Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga. That happened earlier this year at Madison Square Gardens in New York City. There was so much controversy, so much bad blood, like so much stuff that was said, and like the presser, the pre-fight presser for this was just ugly. It was just disgusting. All the stuff that Berlanga was saying, like, it's just trash talking Hamza, like back and forth. It was just crazy. Actually, Hamza, he didn't resort to firing off low blows in terms of his words like Berlanga did. He kind of remained there. He was quiet. He was calm. Oscar De La Hoya was sitting right next to Hamza Shiraz. What an unbelievable fight. Hamza Shiraz just dismantled Berlanga, just dismantled him, took him out, and just ripped him to pieces. So I expect big things from Hamza Shiraz. He's an incredible fighter. I think he's got an unbelievable future. And, other fights that come to my mind, like shock factor fights, is like Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. I mean, you guys can't argue this. Like, Jake Paul, yeah, you know what? Say what you want about him, but the guy can fight. I know there's some controversy kind of surrounding some of his fights and stuff, but I mean, you know what? He hung in there 6 rounds against probably one of the most elite fighters in the world. 2-time unified world heavyweight champion, former world heavyweight champion, and after that knockout that he suffered from Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua took some time off, and then he came back, and he knocked out Jake Paul in the 6th round, in 1 minute 33 seconds into that round. And he feels good. He feels confident. But unfortunately for Anthony Joshua, he suffered some tragedy as of late, as you're aware, just a few days ago. That terrible accident in Nigeria that ended up resulting in a loss of life of 2 of his best friends. And it's really sad. I mean, you don't want to hear those kind of things, but it was just terrible terrible, terrible, terrible. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Anthony Joshua, his team, and to his two best friends and their families. May they rest in peace. It was terrible. So, anyways, guys, now I want to kind of switch gears a little bit here, and I want to talk about now fighter. Sorry, we talked about fighter of the year. Now I want to talk about fight of the year. So like, look, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this, and I don't know where I should even begin, where I should even start. But I mean, look, for me, it's kind of clear cut, right? Like, there's a lot of great fighters. Like I said, like Hamza Shiraz definitely is up there. Alexander Usyk, he's a machine. Conor Ben really, he deserves a lot of people are not even talking about Jerome Boots Ennis. I mean, Jerome Boots Ennis' fight against Usman Lima. I mean, he took this guy out within round one. Jerome Boots Ennis is another phenom, guys. I can't wait to watch this guy fight. Virgil Ortiz Jr. too. He's an unbelievable fighter. Come on, guys. I want to see these two guys fight. You got Bivol, you got Benavidez, you've got all these guys. There's just so many good fighters, right? But definitely Shiraz is up there. I'm really impressed with this guy's talent. But I think for me, if I were to define one guy in particular, if I had to rank, and I don't like to rank, but if I had to rank, look, 2025 for me wasn't just all about style. It just wasn't all about how your boxing prowess or how many knockouts he had. There's a few things that I had for me that were really important, and for me, it was more about variety. I wanted to see a fighter that encompassed a lot of the different things that I want to see in a fighter, and I mean, that in itself could be an entirely different conversation. I get it. I totally get it. But for me, it was Naoya, the monster Inoue, right? He is just so gifted, and it's hard for me to put him right at the it's not hard for me to put him at the top of the list. What's hard is there's so many other good fighters that are just right there. But I felt that Naoya had the edge. He's incredible. He's just the monster is the monster. Here's a guy who fought 4 times this year. He fought 4 times this year. All right, putting up his championship belts on the line. And look, my pick. The reason I chose him was not necessarily because he won his fights. It's because of how he won, right? Look, just mention the fact that he fought 4 times this year. Okay, he fought elite opponents. They weren't B or C class fighters. He fought all elite fighters, right? He just beat David Picasso, at Ring 5, Night of the Samurai. I mean, he didn't have to take that fight on. He did it, and he ended up winning. I mean, he's got so many different styles. He's not even fights in one particular style of format. He could switch up gears. He could switch up stances. He could switch up styles. That's what makes him so incredibly gifted. And I mean, all of his fights had moments of adversity. He got dropped earlier this year, but he came back to win in the 8th round against Cardenas. I mean, guys, and he doesn't have any controversy that surrounds him. It's usually clear cut. There's no debate. He's the champ. He's the king. He's the greatest. Yeah. This guy comes out and he's just pure dominance, right? When he fights, sometimes it's just no guessing. He's got speed, precision, timing. He's got the power that travels with his fights. I mean, with his punches. I mean, he's got that hunter's instinct. When it's time to end things, he knows what he needs to do, and he does it in grand fashion. I mean, this is pound for pound greatness, guys. We're watching a living, breathing legend in boxing. And there's a lot of rumors about what's going to happen now. Both of these guys, I didn't even get there yet, but Ring 5, Night of the Samurai, you had Inoue, And then you also had Nakatani fighting on a different card. There's a lot of rumors that Inaya, the monster, might be taking on Nakatani, right, at the Tokyo Dome. Two Japanese sensations, two Japanese stars, right, putting their legacies on the line, guys. I mean, I honestly, like, after this fight, if it comes to fruition, Inaya could actually retire. He doesn't need to do any more. He's proven himself to be pound for pound probably one of the greatest fighters of all time. But I think he's still got another 2-3 years in him. That's what he said. He said he's ready to fight for another 2-3 years. But I mean, looking at Terence Crawford fighting till the age of 38, 39, he could do the same. Right, but I mean, if this fight between Inaya and Nakatani happens, this is going to be one of the biggest fights in Japanese boxing history. But globally, could probably be one of the biggest fights that we've seen in quite some time. And depending on how it goes, honestly, Inouye's legacy might jump to another level. But yeah, absolutely incredible, guys. And of course, we have to give credit where credit is due. I talked about him before. Terence Bud Crawford. I mean, honorable mention. Look, Crawford beating Canelo was absolutely massive. One fight, yeah, it was historic. I mean, beyond proportions. It was legacy defining performance. All right. If activity mattered less, Bud might have taken it, honestly. But Fighter of the Year just isn't just about the biggest moment. All right. It's about the full year. It's about the full year. This is why I gave Inaya the edge, because he fought 4 times this year and all elite fighters. That's like Crawford taking on guys like Canelo and elite, like 3 other elite, top elite fighters this year. I would have loved to see. I mean, if Terence Crawford took on Jaron Boots Ennis and won, say, but like let's just say hypothetically he won that fight, then hands down, I think he would have got the Fighter of the Year for sure, right? See, like Crawford, he didn't just beat up Canelo, right? I mean, he moved 2 weight classes up to do it, even at his age at 38. That's absolutely incredible. Hats off to him, guys. Probably one of the biggest stage boxing that we've seen in probably decades. That win alone, honestly, if Inoue wasn't in the picture, he would have hands down won Fighter of the Year, in my opinion, right? But when I see Inoue in the picture and I see Crawford, I'm going to give it to Inaya. Okay. So, look, quick summary, guys. Boxing 2025 was absolutely crazy. Gave us chaos, skill, controversy, drama. Give us movie-like cinema stories beyond, in and out of the ring. And honestly, just real history at the end of the day. But Inaya, the Monster Inoue, separated himself from all the other fighters. He's in a class all to itself. Probably one of the most complete fighters I've seen in a long time. Probably one of the most consistent. Probably one of the most dominant. And that's why 2025 for me hits a lot different, right? These weren't all just good fights. They're probably very, very high-stake fights with high history, rankings, legacies attached. It was the difference between entertainment and moments that mattered. So, guys, I talked a lot. I could have gone into more detail. Clearly, I could have gone into more detail, but I didn't want this to become a 2-hour kind of conversation. But you heard my thoughts and comments. I want to hear yours now, right? Who was your fight and Fighter of the Year? What did I like? I mean, which fight did we miss? Perhaps I want to hear. Tell me what you guys think. Drop it in the comments, and let's argue respectfully. I love reading your guys' comments, and don't be shy to tell me how you truly feel about your opinions on a particular fight. I want to hear that. I want to read that, guys. It's sometimes I actually learn. There's a lot of things that I'm actually learning from you guys as well too. So there's some things that I'm seeing that you guys are saying that I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I got to talk about this. Somebody was talking about Beevil before, and Arthur Better Beef, and guess what? I just mentioned it as probably one of the top fights of the year. So, anyways, guys, there's more to come. 2026 is going to be absolutely incredible. More importantly, I hope you guys are safe wherever you guys are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for believing in us and for giving us the kind of credit that you guys do. Smash a like and subscribe if you enjoy us and you want us here for 2026 and for many years to come. It'd be truly the pleasure is all mine. Honestly, thank you so much for being such amazing people. And I hope I can continue to serve you guys into 2026 and many other years to come. So much prosperity and success to you and your family, and of course, much health, good health, and look forward to catching you guys on the next one.